This is spoiler chat for Weapons. If you have seen Weapons and want to hear somebody talk spoilers about it, keep listening. If you haven't seen it, you should stop listening now and come back to this later on. Unless you don't care, then go ahead and we're going to spoil it, even though you haven't seen it. What do we have to say about Weapons? I mean, the big spoiler is like the ant, right? Is that the big spoiler?
Yeah. I mean, the big spoiler is the why. Yeah.
I guess. The fact that they kind of like introduce this character mid-film and you don't know whether to be captivated by her or afraid of her because they're not giving you all the information up front about her.
Do we see her early on when the FBI is talking to the boy? Is she like on the couch in the beginning of the movie?
I was wondering that because, they mentioned that like, oh, the FBI talked to the boy and you see the boy from the back and like two adults are next to him.
Mm-hmm.
And I was wondering like, well, how they explain that because we learn things about what happened to his parents.
Yeah.
And then we eventually see that scene from her perspective.
I do find it more fun when movies give you all the info that you need and it's up to you to piece it together and then you can't and then they piece it together for you. I think that is more fun than just, oh, by the way, there is a creepy ant we never told you about.
But in this movie, they want to, if they had introduced her much earlier in the movie, then you wouldn't have gotten all the whodunit at the beginning, right? Because you kind of feel, at least I did on first watch, I felt like we weren't getting the full story with the teacher. I didn't necessarily think she abducted 17 children and is now in public, running around. But there was something missing here type of thing. I felt like the Josh Brolin character did, where it was like, even though she denied knowing anything about it, it's just impossible that she doesn't know something about this.
Mm-hmm.
And I felt like that's the direction the movie was going until, and since this is spoilers, until the junkie in the forest and you see the orange-haired lady way on the other side of the forest type of thing. That's like the first glimpse of her that you get. That's like a full shot.
I disagree.
Okay. When was it?
Because don't we get the principal's perspective first? Who do we get first, the principal or the junkie?
Junkie.
Oh, okay. Because
I just rewatched it.
Okay. Thank you.
Because I had the same question.
Yes.
We do see her on the ceiling. That like the teacher has a nightmare of her on the ceiling before all that.
Josh
That's true.
Brolin has a nightmare of her too. Yeah.
Yeah.
And
right.
I'm gonna say right now, when horror movies do nightmares, they piss me off because it's just for a cheap scare.
Yeah, I mean, it's a horror movie.
I know, but I guess we mentioned before that like this movie is not quite an elevated horror movie, but it's definitely trying to be more than just like, a run-of-the-mill horror movie. And I guess I enjoy my horror when it's plays into the story somehow. And in this case, when of these dream sequences, it's just like, oh, here's a cheap moment of like, boo, and then the character wakes up. And it's not giving you much story, it's just giving you a thrill.
Okay. At 50 minutes and 8 seconds, there are several quick cuts to the twins lying in the hallway covered in blood. At 2 hours and 8 minutes, Jack jumps out and attacks Halloran with the axe.
Yeah, you're talking about The Shining. I understand this.
You don't dislike all jump cuts.
No. I didn't say I don't like jump scares. I said I don't like dream sequences in horror movies.
As
too
jump
busy.
Scares?
No, James is too busy Googling to listen to you talk about dreams.
Like the twins in The Shining. Yes, it's a vision, but that vision is also informing you of the terrible things that have happened at the hotel.
Okay, so you only like them if the jump scare gives you a bit of information.
Yes. Zach, that's what I said 2 minutes ago, correct?
Yeah.
But you don't think the witch, I guess, on the ceiling gave you any information, even though that was the first time you saw the witch.
I mean, it gave me the information of, oh, there's a creepy character involved, but like, does this witch invade people's dreams? Like why are people? I hate getting to like the what's the why, but in this case, like, why are people having dreams of this witch?
Sure.
Because it happens to her and to Josh Brolin.
Right.
But it's not really. It's again, it's a horror movie. I understand. It's there for a cheap scare. It just
Sure.
it just felt cheap. That's all.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. I don't mind jump scares. I don't. I think it's part of the fun.
That's totally fine. you enjoy horror movies more than I do. So.
In It Follows, there's a jump scare where somebody throws a ball against a window. It has nothing to do with anything, and it's great. I love it.
No, I mean, like same for in the Alien when like they think something's behind the cabinet and they open the door and the cat hisses and everyone jumps. I was like, okay, that's just
Yeah,
it's cheap.
yeah, for sure.
Anyway, we can get back into the we were talking about Gladys, the aunt. Do you
Sure.
think she is an actual aunt, or is she just like this creature that showed up and inserted herself into this people's lives?
So my assumption, not based on anything from the movie, my assumption is that she's hundreds of years old.
Yeah, I kind of agree.
And so I think that certainly this family assumes that she's the aunt, have known her for a number of years, maybe like 40 years. They've known her. I think she probably pre-existed them and has been like, you know what I mean? So like, but has been the aunt for like decades now, would be my guess.
Okay,
James?
so they have prior experience, like
Yeah, because they mentioned we
wife
saw her
maybe
at her
knew
wedding. You know, yeah.
Okay,
They think of her as the aunt. I really loved her performance. I thought it was great. It was just so outgoing and extra and creepy, and it was great.
Yeah, I think the movie was singing to me before she shows up in full, but when she was there in full, it just made the movie fun for me. Like just the performance itself was like,
Yeah.
oh, this is just kind of silly, but also devious at the same time. It's the perfect clown character without being a clown on screen.
Yeah, exactly. My favorite line from the whole movie was when she said someone was sick from consumption, and then the principal was like, "I don't actually know what consumption is," and it's just funny. That's another reason why I think she's old.
I kind of picked up on that too, of like, oh, she's using words that, you know, we don't use in the 21st century at all.
Right.
Yeah. The movie isn't very clear about this, but there is a discussion that Zach referenced before the parents seem possessed or whatever we're going to call it, cursed, whatever, where he's describing why the father is describing to the boy before the kids disappear why the aunt is coming to stay with them. It's because she's sick and she needs help, and they've never met her before, and they invited her to their wedding and she didn't show up years ago. And so nobody in the family has ever met her, even though she is known to be a family member.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay. So we can, I mean, are we just going to get into it? Like,
It's spoilers. So
Okay.
whatever you want to say, man.
yeah. So her plan, right?
Uh-huh.
It seems like she draws her life force from other people.
Well, that's what she wants to do. It didn't really seem like that happens at all.
Well, when we see her like first, like when we finally get the Alex POV, like he looks into the room and she looks quite decrepit in the bedroom, right?
She does.
And then like the next day, I feel like she's hypnotized, whatever. She's done her curse on the parents.
I feel like she's as decrepit. She just has a wig and a lot of makeup.
Okay.
She seems the same amount of decrepit to me, just with a wig.
So she stole all these children to live longer, but it wasn't like she then became. I needed her to become like a beautiful, youthful woman or anything. But
yeah,
I didn't see a physical change in her between those two moments.
This was a little confusing for me. It did seem like she was hoping this would work with just the parents, and it didn't. And then she's like, okay, let me try with the kids, hoping it would work. And then it also didn't. I feel like it was more like hoping that it would work, but then in practice, it actually didn't. But it never seemed like she was stealing life force from them. You know, they became zombies in the same way that everyone becomes zombies that she, bewitches or whatever.
Yes.
But like they weren't being sucked dry or withering or anything like that, right?
Mm-hmm. No, they were just kind of in stasis while she figured out what to do with them.
Yeah.
And she can clearly weaponize them to her own gain, but that we didn't see her do anything else with anybody.
Right.
Other than use them as weapons.
So that's what I thought this movie was going to be.
Mm-hmm.
The first time we saw a weaponized character, which was the principal, I thought it was going to be one of the kids. And I was expecting this movie to be like, oh, we're going to have like
kids murdering people.
4th graders murdering people.
Right.
Doing this Naruto run and then showing up. We didn't get that, and maybe that's for the better. But I thought that's what this movie was going to be. Was like these kids were going to start appearing and killing other people.
We did get kids killing people.
We got kids killing person at the very end. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the kids were weaponized against their creator.
Right.
All right. Which I felt, if you're going to do that part of the plot, was the only way I would ever recommend this movie to you guys. You know what I mean? Like if it was kids just murdering people throughout the movie, it would have been a totally different movie to me than the one where all the kids are standing emotionless in a basement for the whole movie. And then right at the end, they're kind of the heroes in a very gross, twisted way.
In a twisted way, they're yes, exactly.
Right. And the person who sicked them on the witch was the one child that survived it. He's the one that breaks the twig.
He's also the one that was not knowingly, but was complicit in it.
Right. Forced to do it.
Right. You're right. He was forced, but I'm sure there is guilt there from him.
Yeah.
Of like, I'm the reason why these kids are here. Obviously,
can we talk about the rules a little bit?
Yeah, sure. let's please talk about the rules.
Okay, so for those of you who have not seen the movie, but I just want to know, essentially she has this magic tree or bush, right? And you take one of the twigs from the bush, you take someone's hair, wrap it around the twig, cut yourself, rub blood up on the twig, and then when you snap the twig, you can get someone to kill that person. Whoever's hair was wrapped around it, you can get them to kill that person, okay? So that's how she got the principal to try to kill the teacher, who, by the way, that teacher is very good at staying alive when much stronger men are trying to kill her. Very good at staying alive.
Yeah,
for such a tiny woman.
Yeah, right. She's up to Josh Brolin also.
Yeah. But here's what I don't understand. I don't understand, how do you know who it controls? Like, who does it make a zombie? Because like in the principal's house, she took hair from the principal's partner, and then the principal was the one that attacked, right?
Right, but she also wrapped the principal's award, which was just like a little a little ribbon that
something that belonged to him.
Right. Oh. So I don't think it has to be your hair. It's just something that belongs to you.
Yes. So she used the award first to make him under her spell.
Yeah. And
then she took the hair from the husband, wrapped it around, broke the stick, and that's when the husband.
All that makes sense to me.
Yes.
All that makes sense to me.
Okay.
But what got confused is when the deviation from the rule. So like when they're in the parents' house, she got the parents to attack themselves, right? Now, how did that happen? How did she get the parents to attack themselves?
Did she snap a twig again?
Yeah.
Did she put their own hair on their own twig?
Yes.
That's my only assumption, is like if I had you under the spell and then I took your own hair, wrapped it around your special twig, and snapped your twig.
Okay, so you're following me along great now. Now the third thing is the boy kills the witch by grabbing a twig, putting one of her hairs on it, and then snapping it, right? So why didn't the witch kill herself? Why were they the ones that attacked the witch at that point?
I think that stick was the stick she used to command all the kids. That was like the master stick.
Oh, it wasn't just already on the tree. I thought it was a unplucked stick.
I thought,
It seemed like
Great
he pulled
question.
it from the tree. James?
maybe.
As someone who watched it twice, I will tell you that I have no clue.
Okay.
I
But
don't
it's-
remember a scene with a master twig. I think I'd probably lean more in Zach's camp that there's probably not a consistent logic to the boy snapping the twig, because everybody else she possesses as a step 1, and then a step 2, she targets them with the twig snap. Whereas the boy hasn't possessed anybody. He just targets them. So maybe once they're possessed, anybody can target with them with a twig. But they don't show any other situation where that's the case.
Right.
Other than right there at the end, from my memory.
I mean,
Right.
blood magic's a complicated thing, guys. So it's
Oh, it really is. Yeah.
yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, I would say, although I found, overall satisfying, like, where are these kids? Oh, they were all stolen. The reason why they all left at the same time, 'cause that's when the spell happens. Like that I found to be satisfying. I liked that you had this witch show up. I just didn't quite understand what's the plan. And right, maybe exactly it is the case of she didn't really have a plan. She thought, oh, this should work. But if she's as old as you say she is, I would assume that she's done this before.
Sure. It just didn't seem to be working. And to the point where she was going to leave, right? She was about to leave.
Mhm.
At the very end, I think she was leaving.
Okay.
And so I don't know why not send the kids back or. Okay. And here's another thing of the rules that I have a question of, right? When she died, Josh Brolin instantly clicked back to just normal. He's fine again. But the kids didn't. So why do some people click back and some people don't?
I think the kids did. I think they were in shock.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I think
mean-
it's okay.
Go ahead.
I think it's the time under spell,
That could be
because
true.
the parents didn't click back right away either.
Also,
Yeah.
the parents, and I didn't catch this the first time, when you're getting the perspective of Alex at the end, the parents, even though they're possessed, they kind of act normal. And as time goes on, they get less and less verbal with the child. So I think that goes to Kyle's theory that, like, you start being possessed and it changes you a little. And then the longer you go, the more you just turn into a mindless thing that stands there.
Right, because Josh Brolin snapped out of it and right away was like looking for his son.
Mhm.
Like he just had this a momentary lapse where I think the kids were, probably shocked that they see this horrific scene in front of them, but I think also probably like just still catatonic because they've been under possession for a month.
And they also describe right at the end in the prologue, whatever the epilogue in the epilogue, that the parents are now in like a insane asylum or something like that, and drinking through a straw. So
Yeah.
I think the parents were under it the longest, and then the kids. Also in the epilogue, they say some of the kids have started speaking again. So I think it takes a while to eventually come fully circular. Although the kids might not speak because they're traumatized. Might not have anything to do with how long.
Right, it could be a
but
little,
who knows? But those are
I
good
also-
questions to the rules of the movie, Zach.
Yeah, for
I
sure.
agree. For sure.
And like the aunt had this whole plan of like, oh, we're gonna steal these kids, I'm gonna possess everything. But she's like, oh, I also know that the FBI is gonna be showing up though, so we better like clean the house up. And there's this silly scene of her sending all the kids out of the basement like a herd of cattle into the backyard. And I was like, that's your best plan? Like, I'm just gonna stash them somewhere else. And like I thought the whole reason they came to the house in the first place is because like that's where they were summoned. I didn't realize you can now just like herd them around and say, okay, now go over there.
Sure. Yeah.
Because I was like, okay, well, how is she gonna like obviously cops are gonna show up at her house. How's she gonna explain
They're gonna go into the basement.
exactly the state of this home? So
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, they also didn't explain like how these people eat, how they poo, how they, there's lots of open questions.
Well, we know how they
Probably
eat.
get
We don't
into.
know how they poo.
I assume they just stand there and soil themselves. If they're eating, then they're releasing waste.
Yeah, and they're just
Yeah.
having soup.
Yeah.
Do you think they're told like go to the bathroom? Like
No,
go in the bathroom and go to the bathroom?
No, I
No.
think they just are.
They naturally do it. They get up off the couch from staring at the wall.
No, I don't think they're doing that either.
No, I think this movie wanted to be very accurate. We've seen everyone with very soiled pants, but they probably didn't want to go quite that
Go
gross. Yeah, but
Sure.
my assumption is in this case you would just relieve yourself when you needed to.
Yeah.
Sure.
I also just want to say, for the record, I think in real life, this is a movie thing, but in real life, you cannot just run through a big glass window without dying.
Yeah, right.
I think that is a catastrophic injury to run through a window.
Huh. You don't think
So,
you don't
no,
I agree. It's way worse than any movie has ever
Oh,
presented.
people run through plate glass windows. I remember watching Rescue 911 as a kid, and someone went through a window and died because, like, windows don't shatter; they just break into larger pieces that lacerate
Which you then run into.
Sure.
Yeah.
Exactly. So, yeah, sugar glass breaks very nicely into 1,000 little pieces, but
Yeah.
actual glass, large shards.
Can we talk about some of the swerves of this movie?
Sure.
Yeah.
So, did you notice several times it talked about like fungus that could like control your brain?
Yeah, it talked about
Yeah.
cordyceps and parasites. Yep.
Yep. And yeah, mushrooms and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, I thought they were going to go there, and then they kind of, I think they're using that kind of like as a reference to what she's doing to people, but I thought they were literally going to introduce like a legit fungus and like
Oh,
have that
okay.
be a part of it.
I just picked it up as like subtext of it's related to parasitic relationships and mind control.
I think that's what it was. But I
Yes,
think
yeah.
they also put it early in the movie to get people thinking or theorizing about where this is going to go.
Yes.
And then they don't go there.
Josh Brolin has that dream and he sees an AK-47 in the sky.
Yes. So
let's talk about this. I in the non-spoiler, I said this movie doesn't have much to say, really, like a bigger point. I think it probably does. It's just not super clear, and even my own theory on it, I don't know how much of it holds weight, but
That's what I was getting at with the Jordan Peele thing. Is like, I thought when I saw that, I was like, oh, this is going to be some sort of metaphor for school shootings.
yeah, of like all
And-
these kids disappearing and yeah.
Yes, and that could be very, very interesting. But it just quite frankly, it was not a metaphor for school shootings, except for the fact that a whole class disappeared and we saw a gun at one point. There's no other dots that connect. If that was ever an idea, it's way too half-baked.
So if you notice, before Josh Brolin falls asleep, he's laying in his son's bed. And his son has a poster, and there is an AK-40. There's a rifle on the poster. It's sort of in the background. So I think it's one of those things where, like, you know, how sometimes you have dreams, and dreams are sort of like an amalgamation of all the things you've experienced over the day. I'm thinking that's kind of what Zach Cregger was trying to do, of like, oh yeah, he fell asleep looking at this poster of a gun, and now he sees a gun above.
Well,
but it's subtle.
If that was it's subtle. Chekhov is rolling over in his grave after watching that use of a gun in the first act.
Well, this movie does have a Chekhov gun, though. Like, you see that cop take the gun out of the locker multiple times.
Yeah.
So you're like, okay, good. There's got to be clear that there's a gun in this movie.
Yeah.
I was thinking similarly when the gun shows up in the dream, and it shows up in such a strange way, just kind of hovering above a house.
Very
It's like an alarm
strange way.
clock. Yeah.
It's I thought it was headed there. I think maybe it's more like, I don't know, some kind of commentary on like people weaponizing children on some level, or like I mean, literally the movie does that. And also, I think sometimes, not to get too political, sometimes people use children as a motivation to do awful things or to pass awful legislation, or, you know what I mean? They're just, children are an easy shield if you want to get something accomplished. Just say we're doing this for the kids,
Right. Or to protect children.
To protect children,
Yes.
or whatever.
Yeah.
There's something there. I don't know if that's what the movie's saying. It's too vague to be like, this is what it's trying to say.
He's really grasping at straws based on the name of the movie. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
The kids are really not even used as weapons. We really only see one person used as a weapon. I mean, for the most part.
Right. The principal gets the lion's share of being used as a weapon. I mean, the Josh Brolin character briefly at the end.
And the parents too get weaponized.
The parents.
She has the teacher's
junkie.
hair. Why doesn't she have the teacher kill herself? She doesn't need anyone else to do it.
I don't know. Maybe you can't tell a person to kill themselves if they're under the spell.
But she told the parents to harm themselves.
That's different than, final act.
I mean, I got the, I mean, I don't know the rules. I got the impression those parents would have kept stabbing themselves to death. Like,
yeah, at
if
the
you
very
stab
least,
yourself
they're
in the
zombies
fort,
under her control.
Right.
It's possible.
That's
I'm
good
just
enough.
saying the movie never goes there when clearly they could. So
yeah,
the movie's not specific about the rules enough to know one way or the other on that.
Yeah.
But I do get the sense if she has your hair, she can control you.
Yes.
Yet with the teacher, she was just like, no, I'll send my people to get her.
I
My
think-
minions.
I think the teacher was a useful chess piece until she wasn't. You know what I mean? Like the teacher keeps everybody off of this witch's trail, basically. The moment the teacher goes away, now if she had made it look like a suicide, maybe that would have worked. But also keeping her out and having the whole town point fingers at her was very useful for the witch.
Right. And she didn't send the principal on the teacher until the teacher said to the principal, like, hey, can we check out this house? Like, I think there's something wrong. She was the first one to say, Alex's house, there's an issue.
Yeah, that's a good question, too, now that you mention it. She clearly wanted to get rid of the teacher earlier, but then she doesn't after the principal fails to do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is weird, too, now that Zach mentions it.
Yeah. And a complete dereliction of duty by the FBI. If they have, let's say the video of 6 of the kids running out of their doors, and they're all running in straight lines, to not do a trajectory and see that they all converge in one place. I mean, that is
Sure. The fact that the construction guy, the construction foreman had to put this together with only 2 angles. He puts it together.
Yeah. That's fine.
And if you look at where his intersection is and where the kid's house was, I'm like, how accurate is this map? It was a good 3 blocks away. So,
what would a version of this? It could include all the same things. It could have the witch and the bush and all that kind of stuff. That was about school shooting. What would that look like? Because I feel like if Jordan Peele made this movie, it would be about both at the same time.
I think if it was about school shooting, we'd have more grief from parents. It'd be less of a puzzle and more of a grief movie. And I could see the kids actually being weaponized. If that was the metaphor the movie was going for.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
James, I don't know if you want to add anything. I don't know if I want to see a school shooting metaphor horror movie, to be completely honest.
You guys want to know what ChatGPT thinks about the gun?
Sure.
Let's
Not really.
Dump out a gallon of water for this one.
Here's a breakdown. Supposedly it searched YouTube, Reddit, and The Guardian for this answer.
Okay.
Here's a breakdown of what people think the floating gun / rifle scene in Weapons means. What people interpret it to mean: symbol of inappropriate violence or a looming threat, a school shooting allegory, a cycle of trauma or grief in the father. The meaning of 217. Some have speculated that 217 on the gun acts like an ammo count. The kids
No.
are metaphorically ammunition for a larger, sinister purpose. That seems like a stretch.
But they're not. Like they seem like they're just there for life force, so that they don't have a. They're not being used for anything besides their youth.
Yep. It's a nod to horror tradition / The Shining, which there were definitely hat tips to The Shining in this,
Oh, 217.
I guess.
Right. Oh,
there
no,
are clues. The
it's
number
room
has
2.
been chosen in part as an homage to The Shining. Director Zach Cregger said it was influenced by his admiration for the film, though he changed the number from 237.
Yeah.
So it's not too on the nose.
No, I believe 217 is the room number in the book. Yeah, it's in the Shining book. It's 217 is the room number. The Shining movie, they changed it to 237.
Sure. Here's one that might frustrate you guys.
Okay.
The clues argue against a single correct meaning. The director explicitly has declined to confirm any one single reading. He's spoken about the scene as something he, quote, loves because even he doesn't fully understand it.
Okay, so he just put it in
Yeah.
there because
No, it's just half baked. That's fine.
yeah, half-baked
Right.
is a great way to describe it.
Right.
I did read Zach Cregger talk about one allegory that is happening in this movie, which is intentional. And he apparently grew up with an alcoholic father. And he said that Alex is him in the case where, like he was saying when you're the child of an alcoholic parent, you become the caretaker. You become the adult that's in charge.
Yeah.
So I believe that's what he was seeing through Alex taking care of his parents, doing the soup, feeding all the kids, like trying to step into that role.
You think
The
that's why the Julia
performance-
Garner character, too, is like an alcoholic, clearly?
And the cop's also an alcoholic.
Yeah.
The performance of the kid obviously was a little dry, but the behavior of the character I thought made total sense in the context of the film.
Are all these kids only children?
Probably not.
Are
Okay.
all these kids only children?
Well, Alex is an only child.
Oh, I understand what
I
you
get the
mean.
impression that Matthew was an only child.
Right.
It just seemed like all the kids we were directly interacting with were only children. I thought that was
Well, that's only two of them, right?
yeah, but I don't know where I'm going with this.
The other thing that I found interesting, too, was the Josh Brolin character. His son was the kid that was bullying Alex at the beginning of the movie.
Yeah,
Right. Which it adds up to nothing, right?
Right.
All
It's
it
just
is I recognize that. Interesting. But it means nothing, right?
well, it's like you saw that kid earlier. And so there's a connection.
right. But it wasn't like, not that I wanted Alex to be a sinister character and be like, oh, I'm gonna get back at my bullies.
Mhm.
But I mean, Alex he does what he does out of fear of this woman. He doesn't do it like because he's like, oh, this person was mean to me, or
Right.
like everyone in my class hates me, and I'm gonna. That would be your school shooting movie. You'd have a high schooler, and they would be more complicit in getting rid of their class because they're like the loner.
In a different movie that I could see happening, one that I probably would not like as much.
Right.
This kid gets bullied in school, and maybe everything else happens as it does. And then when the kid gets the opportunity to control the classmates, he doesn't do it for the reason that he does it. He uses them as actual weapons, his, classmates.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? The little kid is jaded and the gun actually means something. And you know what I mean?
Oh,
It turns into a legit school shooting movie where the kid.
That's
That would
a
be
way
a-
darker
That's
movie.
a terrible,
Like I
terrible
said,
movie.
I could see that movie
No.
happening. It was
I
headed
think
that
there's-
direction.
I think there is a way where this movie is both about the senselessness. How do you deal with the senselessness of losing a whole class of kids
Mhm.
for like no good reason?
Mhm.
And it still is about a witch who like controls people with twigs, and you know what I mean? Like that's the text, and then the subtext is like losing a whole class of kids like in a school shooting.
Right. But this movie's not interested in the grief.
Mhm.
It's interested in the puzzle
A little bit. Josh Brolin, a little bit.
a little bit, but he like you would have
He's our surrogate parent.
exactly, yeah. But like even
I
the other parents they encounter just kind of seem like we don't want to talk about it. I mean, I guess everyone has grief differently, but
Yeah. But I really enjoyed the teacher character. The fact that she's not like just this sweet, you know, saccharine kind of person. She's kind of like a little edgy, like in her life.
right.
Mhm.
She, yeah, I thought that was an interesting character. Again, I guess I don't know if it added to anything rather than just made her a little bit more suspicious as you're trying to unravel the mystery. But other than that, I don't know if it added up to anything.
If you guys haven't seen The Returned, the French TV series,
Oh, you've mentioned this. Yeah.
so good. So good.
It's about witches.
But no, it's not about witches at all. It's like a small town community. A school bus falls off a cliff.
Oh, right.
All the kids die, and then like years pass, and then all of a sudden, like 7 students out of the entire bus just show up alive, and then the town melts down because the parents of the children are like, I'm just so happy to have my kid back. And then the
Mhm.
parents who didn't get their child back are like, why didn't I get mine back? You know what I mean? And just everybody is freaking out.
Do they miraculously come back, or they had legitimately survived, or is it like a supernatural?
Season 1, there is no explanation for this. Season 2, there is an explanation. That's all I'll
Is it
say
a-
for people.
Is
who
it a
haven't
good
seen it.
explanation?
I was satisfied with it.
Okay.
Okay.
So it had.
Um,
Do they come back the same age when they died, or older?
the first season of The Returned, the French version, has 100% on Rotten Tomatoes. Critic
Okay.
score. It's
It
amazing.
does answer my question.
It doesn't. I don't want to answer your question.
Presumably, in the first episode, it would be answered,
Presumably, guess you'll have to watch
unless
it.
you don't
The
see them at
second
all.
season has a 95%. That makes sense to
Ugh,
me. I
decline.
loved the first season, and the second season slightly less, because any season where they're like, for me, mysteries, they're fun experiencing the mystery, and then once you get the answer, it doesn't matter how good the answer is. It's always going to be 5% less satisfying than the journey through the mystery. You know what I mean?
Sure.
Like, I
Did
can't
you
think
watch-
of anything where. Go ahead.
They come back. They came back.
They came. You mean the American film or the TV show? I don't remember if they made an American film. It might just be the TV show. They came back.
The TV show. Did you watch the TV show?
Yes, it was one season and canceled, and it wasn't near as good as the French version, in my opinion.
Okay.
But the movie They Came Back is also good and very different from the TV show, but similar in its premise. A lot faster, because within 2 hours they tell a whole story, whereas the French TV show is 2 seasons of premiere TV. All right, what were we talking about? Weapons. So good. I liked this movie. If they had just 2 little tweaks, just have the principal get hit by the car and don't just cut it there. You know what I mean?
That was necessary. I
Just
thought.
cut it there. You don't
or-
have to like slow pan to the aftermath. I didn't need it.
You could saw I thought it was effective. Have the woman scream. Have the slow pan to like feet.
Whatever. Just don't show the.
Maybe even have like a pool of
Messiness.
blood.
Right.
Enter. Just be like, oh, this is. Let your imagination be like, how terrible is this?
Yeah.
Agree. Yep.
And the principal in the kitchen dispatching his husband was just a little much.
Yeah.
I would say you
Yeah.
could have done that off camera and just had sound effects, and I would have gotten the same effect, pretty much.
Right, because he kept doing it until he was stopped. Right, it wasn't like oh, he's dead now, I'm going to stop attacking him. It was a constant attack.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So the witch being dismembered didn't bother you because that was probably the third goriest moment.
Didn't bother me as much as the first two.
Okay.
But you could have also not shown that and I would have been fine. I don't think it was absolutely necessary to.
You could have shown a bunch
peeler
of
movie.
The peeler
the
thing was pretty
peeler.
graphic.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
The vegetable peeler.
There was some stuff in this movie for sure.
But there also, again, I mentioned before, there were moments that I found humorous. Like when the tweaker kept attacking Josh Brolin.
Mm-hmm.
It was like the I don't know, the 8th or 9th time he got back up screaming and Josh Brolin was like, come on. Like I thought that was good. And then at the very end when the kids were sort of unleashed chasing the witch, which, man, she got some stamina for being a sick lady.
Yeah, there's no way that lady is outrunning those kids for that long.
Yeah,
she gets, it's 100 yards probably she got.
Yeah.
No way. Have you seen old ladies run versus kids run?
She ran through multiple homes. She was opening and closing doors. I was impressed. But, you know, like there were scenes where there'd be a guy like mowing his lawn. In the background, there's just a dozen kids running by. And he's kind of like, just looks like, the hell's that going on over there? I thought those were being played for laughs.
I want someone to intercut like this movie's chase scene right there with the kids running through the house with like Ferris Bueller's Day Off of him running through the houses when he's being chased. Did you remember that at the end of the movie? With the beginning of Jackass 2, where they do a running of the bulls through a house. Just intercut those 3 sequences, all very similar, and somehow make it feel like the same movie.
Like
that's
the kids are chasing Ferris Bueller.
Right.
Yeah, perfect.
And Johnny Knoxville's right behind him for some reason.
Yep.
Absolutely. Okay. Anything else spoiler that we need to say about Weapons? After talking to Zach about it a bunch and hearing his criticisms, I think the movie is messier than I gave it credit for, and I'm still fine with it. And I ignored all of those things in 2 watches. So I think they're all legitimate criticisms that I don't care about.
Sure. Totally fine.
I never found myself bored or rolling my eyes like, oh, come on, really? Like I was invested for this entire movie till the end. So warts and all, I think that is the mark of a good movie.
Yeah.
Yep. Cool.
I also liked the Justin Long cameo.
Yeah.
Throw it up there.
Random.
Well, he was a Barbarian, right?
If you've seen Barbarian,
I haven't actually.
It's random because he has nothing to do in this movie. But if you've seen Barbarian, that's the only reason he's in it is because people remember him from Barbarian.
Zach, are you interested in seeing Barbarian at all?
Oh yeah, totally.
Okay. Yeah, I would say you're probably not going to like it as much as Weapons. It's a messier movie.
I only saw it once. I remember it being less gory than this one. Is my memory just wrong?
I would say it's less gory, but I found it more horrific.
More devious.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then I think it falls apart in the third act. But yeah, it's definitely darker. It's just a darker subject matter.
Barbarian almost takes place exclusively at night, right?
In a basement. It's either a night or in a basement. Yeah.
That's what you meant by darker?
No,
it's both.
Yeah.
I think this movie, Weapons, could have been a sinister movie, and it kind of chose, let's not be that sinister with kids.
That's one of the things I liked about the movie is like there's definitely a couple night sequences, but some of it, a good deal of it is just broad daylight.
Yeah.
Just weird things happening in broad daylight.
Yeah.
So, okay. That was it for Weapons. Hopefully you enjoyed that spoiler discussion, and we'll see you guys next time. Until then, goodbye.